Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, today I'm coming to you from my cabin on board Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas, which is one of the biggest cruise ships in the world. Now, over the last couple of videos, I've been talking to you about the subject of dining and taking you out and showing you some of the experiences that you can have on board this ship. Now today in this video, we're sticking on that exact topic. So I am going to be dining tonight in Chops Grille, which is one of the specialty dining venues in Central Park. So if you remember my video from probably 2 uploads ago now, I dined at Jamie's Italian, which is also in Central Park, which is that middle section of the ship along on deck 8. So it's basically, we are going tonight, I think next door to Jamie's, and I'm expecting a very, very different experience in Chops Grille because it's the onboard steakhouse. So the majority of cruise lines out there now have got a steakhouse on board. So if you go and cruise with Norwegian, for example, you'll go to Cagney's, and Chops Grille is essentially Royal Caribbean's version of that. So from a price point of view, this is one of the most expensive options that you can pick on an Oasis class ship. So at the point of recording this, Royal Caribbean are looking for about $90 in US to come and dine at Chops Grille for one evening. So I'm expecting this to be really, really good. Usually when I dine on a cruise ship, I definitely wouldn't pay that kind of money. And on this cruise, I haven't paid that kind of money. So I bought a 3-package deal, or a 3-dinner deal, where basically I could dine in 3 restaurants for a meal each for £110. So what, about $140 probably? Now that's much more in line with the sort of pricing that I would expect to pay at a specialty restaurant on a ship, because I would always anticipate it being significantly cheaper for a similar meal than what I would pay on land. So if you take Sindhu with P&O as an example, I always walk away from that, and I think that the amount of food, the quality of food, and the level of service, if I was paying for that on land, I should probably expect to pay double, if not triple, what I've paid on that ship. So what I'm intrigued by tonight is that if I was a full paying customer who was buying this experience on the ship for about $90 US a head, would I be happy that that would give me a significantly better experience than ordering the same type of food on land? Yeah, I'm really not sure, but watch this space and I guess we'll find out together. Now tonight I'm dining with a couple of other solos, and when we get into the restaurant, I think I'll just be basically showing you the surroundings, showing you the food, and then the next time I'll catch up with you guys, we'll be back here in the cabin to wash up on what tonight's looked like. So yeah, let's head along to Central Park now and go and check out one of the most expensive dining offerings on Symphony of the Seas. Okay guys, as you can hopefully tell here, this restaurant is part of the Central Park neighbourhood in the middle of the ship. Now I did come down a few hours before dinner so that I could show you the venue without all of the people in it, because it's very difficult, and to be honest, I don't like to shoot dining venues when they're full of people. So yeah, as you can see here, beautiful venue. It's done really, really well, and it does look like a pretty premium steakhouse that you could find on land. However, that's where my number one criticism of this venue really does come in, because where's the ocean? There's absolutely no nod to the sea at all, and it's what I struggled most with this class of ship. All these venues are really, really nice, they're dressed beautifully, but I'm on a cruise ship and I'd like to see the ocean. Anyway, that aside, really nice venue, so let's crack on with dinner. Now here's the menu, so you can pause the video and take a look at this, but long story short, you've got your appetizers, your soups and salads, you then move over and you've got all your main courses, and then you move down and you look at your sides. Now to walk you through what I had to eat, I started off with bread, which was just supplied in the middle of the table. I then moved on to the typical starter, main, dessert. There were other people in the restaurant that had more courses, but to be honest, based on my experience, and you're about to see in a minute, I found the food to be absolutely plentiful in here. Now I started with a wedge salad, and I sometimes struggle with them due to the fact that I'm not a huge blue cheese fan, but as you can see here, there wasn't a huge amount on there, which was great. I then moved on to steak, obviously. I don't get the logic of coming to the steakhouse and not ordering a steak, so yeah, definitely had that. And then for sides, we ordered mac and cheese, french fries, creamed spinach, and also the tater tots, which you can see back if you click back to look at the menu. Now, no steak is complete without sauce. As you can see here, it looks pretty dry at the moment. So I was given like I can't remember what type of sauce this was actually, but it was delicious. I think it was some type of variation on peppercorn, but yeah, very, very good. Now, anyway, no speciality dining dinner is complete without dessert. So here's what you could get, and you can also get spiked coffees down at the bottom, which for $8.95, to be honest, isn't a bad deal. Now, for me, it was easy. New York cheesecake. And with that, I'll see you outside the restaurant in a little sec. So I'm just leaving the restaurant now, and considering this ship is at full capacity apparently at the moment, let me take you a quick walk around here and show you just how quiet it actually is. I'm amazed at how well this ship is handling crowds at the moment. I can't wait to try another Oasis class and see if it's the same, but yeah, unbelievable. Right, so Chops Grille. How do we wash up on tonight? Now, to be honest, the overall quality of dining on this ship, I've been completely blown away by this week. I've never ever cruised with Royal. I've very seldom cruised with the American lines. This year, I'm going to be cruising with, to be honest, the majority of cruise lines available to the US and also the UK market, or mass market cruise lines anyway. And I'm very excited to see how my attitude changes as I go through the year, but the experience that I've had up there tonight, honestly, was absolutely excellent. Now, a lot of people, I already know, people are going to ask me how the experience on here tonight compares to the likes of Butcher's Cut from MSC. Now, I don't have the figure to hand, but I feel as though the experience tonight in Chops Grille is significantly more expensive than Butcher's Cut, which is a speciality restaurant on MSC. So I'm deliberately not going to compare the two of them in this video, although I have dined in both, so that's probably the most relevant example that I could think of. But just because I don't think the price points compare, I'm not going to do it in here. Now, quality up there, that venue up there is absolutely beautiful. If you're coming on this ship and you've got an event that you're looking to celebrate, I would love to go up there for like a birthday dinner or something. The actual venue itself is so opulent, it's so private, and although you are dining with quite a lot of other people around you, it does feel really luxurious and really exclusive. So yeah, big thumbs up from an environment point of view. I actually can't believe we should pause actually and just talk about Central Park. I mean, honestly, I think it's my favourite ever thing that I found on a cruise ship. I just absolutely love it. Like, you can go up there in the middle of the day and it's so chilled out. People are sitting reading books and it's always dead up there. Like, there's always so much room to sit in. And then if you go up at night, they play like crickets. They play birdsong during the day, and then at night they play like the sound of crickets. Either that or they have crickets up there, but Surely not. So they must be playing it through the speakers. But you come out of that restaurant, and honestly, it feels like you're in a city centre. It's such a strange feeling. And this ship, I've hardly felt the ship move this week. And what I've put it down to is just the fact that it's so big that, I don't know, the water just isn't moving it. We have had really good weather this week, to be fair, and I think last night I could feel a little bit of movement, but the whole of tonight, I mean, I would have had no idea that I was on a ship. Now, I say that in a positive light, a real positive light, but at the same time, that is also my criticism of that venue, because as much as I didn't feel like I was on a ship, that to me is good, probably 60-70% of the time. But actually, that's not why I come on a cruise, because if I came on a cruise so that I didn't feel as though I was on a ship, like, why am why am I on a cruise? So I love being reminded of the fact that I'm on a ship. I love seeing the fact that we're moving across the ocean. I love watching the sunset. And I think they've probably missed a trick by having that venue completely on the inside of the ship. But it's probably what they're going for. They probably are going for a cityscape dining experience where it doesn't feel like you're on a ship. So yeah, very, very interesting one. Now, pricing. Pricing is really, really key in how I would think about summing up a dining experience up there. Because those of you who have followed the channel for a while will know that I don't cruise on any kind of big budget at all. And actually, for me to do these really opulent dining experiences, so on this ship, I've done Wonderland, Jamie's, and also Chops. This is quite unlike me. So, yeah, that's probably how you can tell that I'm enjoying a cruise, because I'm actually doing much more luxurious things than I would normally do. But yeah, I think from a price point, I think I'm happy. So, I mean, I'm so full, so I'm definitely happy. But I feel like we got a lot of food for about $90 US. So we got, my starter tonight was, I actually can't remember right now what I had. Oh, the lettuce wedge. So I had like a wedge salad to begin, followed by my steak, followed by my cheesecake. And the cheesecake, they gave me a bowl of ice cream, which was perfect. And then for the steak, you get sauce on your plate, which you can pick from one of three. And then your sides come, and you can basically pick from like 7 or 8 sides that you'd have seen at the bottom right of that menu that I put on the screen earlier. And what they did for us was they said, look, if there's 4 of you, why don't we just bring a selection and then you can kind of pick at them. So that was good. We got truffle chips, which I don't like, so I had to get a side of normal chips, and tater tots, which I thought was an unusual addition. And then we also got cream spinach, which honestly was so good. But my steak up there was cooked to absolute perfection. And sometimes on a ship, I struggle with steak because I sometimes feel as though, I don't know if it's because it's on a hot plate or what it is, but I sometimes think that if I order a steak medium rare, it very rarely comes to, rarely, see what I did there? It very rarely comes to a table actually the way that I've ordered it to be cooked. So tonight it was absolutely spot on, and I honestly am just so impressed with what I've seen up there tonight. So yeah, from a venue point of view, pricing point of view, service was really, really good. I think it's going to have to be another big thumbs up from me tonight, guys, which I wasn't fully expecting, because I thought the price point might have got the better of me tonight and I'd have left with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but no, I'm very, very happy tonight. Now, the one thing that I'm not happy about tonight is that on the other side of my bed right now are my luggage tags and my disembarkation details. So my suitcase is due outside this room in 30 minutes. So I should probably begin packing, because I haven't even thought about that yet. But look, from me right here on Symphony of the Seas, I really hope that you've enjoyed. I really hope you're enjoying my content from this ship. It's a little bit different to normal, because usually I would do like a full-blown daily vlog series, but I decided on here there's so much on the internet of daily vlogs on Symphony that you could go and watch anyone spend a day on this ship. You could go and watch anyone go ashore in Naples from this ship. So I thought I'd do it a little bit different and give you guys the full ship tour, the ship walkthrough, and then these dining guides, and then sort of top 10 and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then it'd be brilliant if you think about joining me on the journey on all my other ships this year, you can do that by subscribing to the channel, or you can join me over on Instagram. And what I would ask is that if you're still watching now, jump down under the video and fire a thumbs up on it. That would be absolutely brilliant, because it really helps the channel to grow. But look, I need to pack a suitcase and then I need to get to bed, because I'll be up at goodness knows what hour tomorrow morning. But thank you so much for watching, and I will catch up with all of you very, very soon. Great. Good night, guys. Bye.